Look! There are some people talking over there! What?
If you ask me, those pompous parasites on the surface act like they're all a bunch of aristocrats.
Hey, speak for yourself!
Oh, you think you're special or something? If you're here, then you're just a convict like the rest of us. I've heard that even if you're released after serving...
I don't...
Hey, how cool would it be if the whole world was destroyed by a giant flood and everyone had to...
What kind of filthy bilgewater are you spewing? Listen, things ain't so great on the surface, but who says that you have to leave? I've heard that you can still stay here and work even after you've served your sentence. Not bad if you ask. Who wants to live in the ruddy...
And what makes you think they'd want to hire someone like you?
Whoa. Sounds like they're really Speaking of which, Paimon never heard anyone use the words overworld or underworld when we were living up there. That's true.
Hey, you over there? Yeah, you! Say, do you like playing card games? You know, like Genius Invocation TCG?
You TCG players are like mint in the wild. Literally.
Hey, come on now. What's wrong with finding fellow Invocation if... alright.
But why would you be looking for people to play Genius?
Whether you're throwing down cards or There are lots of card players here in the fortress. When I saw you, I immediately thought... Sure.
Great! Since you've been here longer than us, you need to...
I thought you would have already heard everything by now.
Why don't you pick?
Alright. Have you heard any spin? Did you know that there are two guys who are always skulking around in the corners of corridors gossiping. The bigger guy, I never really found their gossip very mind-blowing. It's pretty much just the same stuff that I hear about. If you're interested, you can go
Good to know.
Let me think. Oh, did you know that the Duke was also a convict?
Huh?
That's right. The Duke was an inmate just like you and me. Seems he was exiled to go from an ordinary inmate to becoming the manager of the whole Forbidden Zone?
It's just a rumor we've been hearing, but no worries if you've never heard of it.
Anything else? Not...
There's a group of people over there.
So I said, that's not a faucet. Hey, who are you
Sorry for eavesdropping. Sounds like you were talking about something private.
What's the matter?
Hey, don't pretend like it's okay for them to just interrupt us like that. Your expressions tell me you're looking to hear some juicy info.
Really? Are we...
You're kidding. How often does anyone get a personal tour led by his...
A little mistake, huh? I like the way you put it. You see, people with a good attitude can join...
You're...
I'm Cuisto, and this is Lavaroon. People usually call us the Bombshell Bros, but don't worry.
So, you two really like to...
No. You don't get it. Knowing intelligence will make things better for you here. For example, knowing who's working with who has the latest rumors, who's not getting along. Wouldn't you like to know all that? Whoa, all this info's worth something.
I don't mind him. Quisto, the welfare meals. Talk about the welfare meal.
Right! That meal we had...
Is that so? To tell you the truth, I've been helping out with making those welfare meals.
Oh, so you're the one who made the...
You are correct. I am a true professional. Since you like my cooking, I guess that means we share similar tastes. Listen carefully. Listen, kids. The power structure within the fortress is quite complicated. The overworlders couldn't care. You've already met the one person here you should never cross, the Duke, Risley. He knows more than you think. And if he doesn't care about something...
Those who have the Duke's attention get...
I know who you mean. It's that Jurier character, right? I don't think there's anything useful about him at all. Why does he visit the infirmary practically every day? Is it normal for anyone to be going in and...
But did you know that Churia was a...
I don't care if he was a researcher that could turn dirt into Mora. Speaking of which, the last time I saw him, he was passing by in the corridor with Lorvine.
You mean he hit a woman?
But that Lorvine's also quite the odd one, you know?
Wait a second.
Do you think could it be that...
After all, I do remember seeing Lorvine beat Juria to a pulp that one time. And we might be overthinking things.
Okay, we've talked to just about everyone, and it's about time for us to go meet Linny. According to...
Huh? That look in your eyes. You found some...
Hey, this is no time to be modest. Just tell him...
Oh, as expected of the legendary duo. Huh. I'd have never guessed that myself. The rumors swirling about this place are unreliable after all. And he is a harbinger after all. Unfortunately, this isn't enough for our final... Father told me that even though Master Child said he was just coming to Fontaine for a vacation, he actually had some personal reasons. His agenda might be linked to...
His escape route is already flooded, so we'll have to...
Well, when you put it that way...
Bingo!
He's working today. Coming here as a group would have attracted too much attention. It's the least I can do. We're all in this together, so it's only fair for us to fulfill our end of the bargain. Honestly, I'm far more impressed by you guys managing...
Collecting...
Now, let me think. To find out more information, Fremine will have to retrain, and if he's to do that, he'll have to set out on the next pipe cleaning day at the earliest. That's 6 days from now. And after that...
You can even estimate how long...
We've been working together for a long... Traveler, what say you to meeting here 9 days from... Oh, and there's just... Though we can just sit back and wait for Fremine's report on Master Child's whereabouts, we still need to make more progress on the... Fremine's no master of disguise. Lynette's still working on getting intel from the other areas, and...
What do you want us to do?
Well, I won't call it Listen carefully. You'll need to find an excuse to get into the infirmary and investigate the room and... You've mentioned several sketchy-looking people always meeting at the infirmary earlier. So it probably has something to do with the secret we're hoping to investigate the internal structure of the infirmary and any active dealings within. But also, there's no need to take risks. No, when it comes to intelligence gathering, I'd never consider. I'll believe anything as long.
All right, then we'll head.
Let's go our separate ways for now.
Hey, stay here for now. Paimon. There seem to be several people.
Right. I feel
It's not impossible.
So, it's a bit hard to understand them from here. So. Oh, look. Someone, please help! She's sick!
Whoa, are you okay?
Oh my! What's wrong, little one? There's no need to panic. Take a deep breath before you begin.
The traveler started complaining of a stomachache, and then nausea, and then collapsed onto freezing limbs, twitching fingers.
Let me take a look. Please, Don't worry, I'll get you to the bed safely. Here, hold on to my shoulder and walk slowly.
You can do it, traveler!
Don't apologize. You're sick after all. Now, please relax. I'm just going to do a preliminary checkup on you. My checkup has confirmed that she's not in.
Oh, that.
I'll continue my diagnosis of the patient. I don't sense serious damage. And here? Huh? But based on. What about here? Oh, I think you just ate something that disagreed with you. That's all. Nothing too serious.
So that's what.
And there have been other inmates complaining about the food recently. Congratulations! The health risk is incredibly low. Miss Levine, I'll have to
Very well.
And she hopped away, just like that.
Hello. So how are you feeling now?
Her stomach aches really bad.
If Miss Sijuin says it's not a serious problem, then there's no need to.
But it also.
Well,
What do you mean that's true? That's really misrepresenting the situation. Of course I can't. Though they may have committed crimes and gotten locked up here as a result, they still know a thing or two about medicine, and they help Miss Sijuin take care of the sick and injured.
yeah, you're right. But did you have to lecture me about it in front of another patient? Aren't you a patient too? Where did all your energy come from?
That's correct.
Are you two.
We've been sick a while. I come back every once in a while for checkups, and to pick up the medicines Miss Sijuin prescribes for. You could say she fancies herself as.
Please watch your mouth, Mr. Jurrier. Don't forget that you are the
Hey, don't start arguing now! Please, keep it. Hey! There's no need to fight! Everyone will.
Release. It's way too.
Please allow me to end this boring and useless conversation.
And same to you, Miss Lorvine. Anyway, that was more than enough rest for me, so I'm going to get out of this excessively noisy place. See you later, everyone.
He just slowly walked off like that?
That's just what he's. I'm sorry you had to see all of that. I'm Lorvine, and that's. Well,
You really...
I mean, can you blame? I'll accompany you two for a while. Miss Sish, no.
I'm back! Did you rest like you promised?
Thank you for getting our medicine, Miss.
Did you all cooperate with your bed rest? I trust that nobody got up to walk around. Ah, good. Here, this should be 2 days' worth of medicine for you. Take 1 pill now, and then continue your bed rest. Miss Lorvine, I left in a bit of a hurry just now. Do you... Yellow, huh? I understand. These are yours. Please...
All right, then I'll also be on my way now. I hope you feel better soon.
See ya!
I'm going to fill out your medical record now. You're widely known as the Traveler, right?
Those two made quite the commotion just now, so why don't we let them...
So her All right then.
Is there anything we should know?
No, her base constitution is quite good. So I'm sure she'll recover quite quickly after taking the medicine. Please, make sure to stick to bland or less
Got it! Paimon will... Oh, you're going to take a nap already? We've been to lots of places together. She may have...
Oh, so you're the best of... Ah, you're awake.
How do you feel? You slept for a really long...
Well, now you can go back without a worry in the...
Thank you, Miss Sijuin!
Seems like a lot of people have been...
You really are something. To be able to fall asleep like that and even sleep talk the entire time, you scared Paimon half to death! No, but you kept mumbling things along the lines of... Paimon talked with Sijuin the entire time you were asleep. She seemed... Whoa! You really are super thorough. All those
Hmm? Did you two run into any trouble over the past few days?
No, we just worked our shifts according to the schedule. Nothing weird?
We've taken a look at the slip you've sent. Fremine successfully left the grounds via the pipes 2 days ago. And as of last night, Lynette has all—
Wait, why is she
You already went above and beyond when you scoped out the infirmary. To put it more bluntly, even if we were to view that as something you did in exchange for infiltrating a guarded— Lynette also felt like you have already taken the first step for us, so she should be the one to finish—
So that's what Lynette thinks. Oh, Paimon hopes everything's
Perhaps that's true. You're both very good people, and we've come to appreciate that more than anyone else. You've mentioned before that you've had some run-ins with the Fatui.
Well, everyone could use some more friends. We'll be counting on you to help us in the future, too.
Since I see you as friends, then it's even more glad to hear it. Then, let's go check on Lynette before Fremine returns. If everything went well, then she should be wrapping up her—
Is now really a good time?
According to my observations, Sigewinne always spends around half an hour away from the infirmary right before lunch. Also, I'm her brother, remember? It's only natural for an older brother to care about his younger sister's well-being.
Okay, then let's head over right...
Lynette should be— strange.
As expected, Sigewinne isn't here, but why isn't Lynette?
No, Lynette rarely deviates from the plan. Unless—
Let's see if there are any clues around.
Okay.
There are some books here and a few files. Advanced nursing? These sure are some interesting books. She even has books on understanding people's motivation.
Seems quite normal to— None of the beds have any signs of having been slept in.
That's the one Lynette must have used, right?
She would have said her migraine was having a particularly bad flare-up. Generally speaking, the head nurse— which means either the head nurse didn't return the entire time from when Lynette— Wait, this thing? The space behind it is empty. From its size, I don't— Could Lynette have tried to get inside? Let's look around here for some more clues.
Hey, you guys, there's a slip of paper.
A slip of paper?
It's right over here, and there's a bunch written on it too. It reads, "Out of respect for your usual practices, I'll use a piece of paper or card as the medium to pass..."
This is—
Is that all? The back. This...
Show me! Now!
That look on you... Would you care to guess where Miss Lynette... No, could you...
Writhely. Did he—
Wait, you mean he was aware of our goals from the very beginning? But why?
Yes, that is a crucial question. Risley, you are not from the same camp as us. You were sent down here by Nervulet, so you have no conflict of interest with Risley. We're a completely different I'd like to know that too. Don't panic, just think everything over. Wait, you're right. The fact that Fremine was able to leave the grounds.
But what does he gain by letting
So he's challenged. We never should have sent out Fremine. We had to go through all that trouble to find an opening to sneak him around the guards and into the pipe. If Risley let him leave on purpose, then he's probably in a terrible spot now as—
Lenny's getting more and more panicked. Don't be like this, Lenny. Fremine wouldn't have left if we hadn't—
No, I'm the leader of this
Hey, don't be reckless! Traveler, please, stop—
I simply cannot allow Lynette to— I have to go.
He's rushed out the door! After him!
Right. I feel like we still have some.
It's not impossible, but it...
Is that so?
Is someone?
Pack everything up. Whoever's outside is eavesdropping.
Someone! Please help!
Whoa, are you okay?
These two. What a delightful turn of events. I like smart people. Oh my! What's wrong, little one? Being able to read human...
Lenny, wait! It's no use. We have to catch up to him. He's already out of sight. How is he so fast? Let's go head him off at Risley's office.
Come out and face—
Aren't we at an administrative office space? Why don't you at least try to follow even a couple rules from the fortress's indoor management regulations?
What did you do to my
I ran into the young miss at the infirmary. I'd heard that she was suffering from quite the migraine, so I decided to—
Stop joking around! Where did you take my
I have also heard that your performances are quite the spec. Maybe she'll appear behind you.
Is he trying to trick me into turning my head? No, he's probably not looking to attack me right now. You knew we were investigating the infirmary from the start. As for Fremine, no, you probably didn't even—
There was no need to do so. The fortress of Meropide is a pretty pleasant place. Most people enjoy their lives.
You removed our original members and spread the news of Child's escape so Father would assign our team to come down and investigate.
One correction. Lynette is in my—
He's not. What do you really want?
Lenny!
Oh, wonderful. Everyone is here, so I'll only need to say this once. Eager and to the point, I see. Alas, although as per your original plan, Mr. Fremine should also have—
Wait, you locked him out—
I closed the fortress's gate.
Fremine's a star—
No, we're still here, so we definitely try to find a way to come back.
But why would I do this, you may be asking? To have an audience with you, of course. Besides, I do recall you mentioning to Miss Lynette that you've always wanted to have a face-to-face—
So,
some of my folks just happened to hear. I was willing to play dumb and turn a blind eye, so we had a pleasant few days playing games. Mr. Linney, the cards are stacked against you right now. Miss Lynette is in my hands, and Mr. Fremine, you need do but one thing to guarantee their safety.
you want to see Father?
Well, If she cares for the well-being of her dear... I've heard that the bonds between the members of the house...
Why did you think Father sent us to handle the fortress of Meropide? This place is basically a no-man...
Oh, I see. So it's because she doesn't care for my place here. That's such a shame. After all, I've amassed quite the tea collection.
Was this the extent of your master plan to get to Father?
You people really are difficult to get along with. All I'm asking for... Mr. Linney, you have...
Linny!
Instead of asking why I'm doing this, why don't you try to see things from my perspective for a second? I gave you a warning by cutting off the first few operatives I found, but that only caused you to double down. Had Mr. Fremenet left the fortress on his own, and Miss Lynette tried to pry out my secrets right in front of me.
I should...
6.
Wait,
2. Time's up.
Risley!
Negotiations have broken down. Please...
Yeah, listen to the travel...
You do realize that I'm only letting you go because of Neuvillette, yes? You're here helping him out, but that doesn't mean you can just do whatever you want. The fortress may be small and remote. Then how about this? Those who are capable deserve respect. I'll ask you 3 questions. Answer all of them. Question 1. Regarding the hidden rules of the production zone, what is the truth behind the one about not being allowed to work for 3 days in a row?
According to Collins, the Pancration tournament only took place because... The research note said that the Melusine race perceives the... Fonta's internal reports suggest that we often see Miss Sijuin observing the prisoners at work near the production zone. The Fonta promoter has been struggling because he doesn't recognize the real value of coupons. Meanwhile, I've been told that the infirmary is always empty for the half-hour. We often see Miss Sijuin observing... The research note said that the Melusine race... According to Collins, the Pancration tournament only took place because... Fonta's internal reports suggest that they're starting a new... The Fonta promoter has been struggling because he doesn't I've been told that the infirmary is always empty for the half-hour just before lunch. But what could Sijuin be doing to... We often see Miss Sijuin observing the prisoners at work near the production zone. The Fonta promoter has been struggling because he doesn't I've been told that the infirmary is always empty for the half-hour just before lunch. Fonta's internal reports suggest that they're starting a new trial of an unnamed and unpackaged product. But the product has to undergo a trial. The research note said that the Melusine race perceived... According to Collins, the Pancration tournament only took place because the Fonta promoter has been struggling because he doesn't I've been told that the infirmary is always empty. The Fonta promoter has been struggling because... The research note said that the Melusine race perceives the world very different. According to Collins, the Pancration tournament... The research note said that the
So that's what's going on. The hidden rule of the production zone. At first we thought this strange meat must have something. She often visits the production zone to observe the workers' health and make out of her sense of duty as the head nurse, as well as her genuine concern for the workers' health. Sijuin visits the cafeteria right before lunch. Sijuin has only the best intentions. Unfortunately, Melusines, as the recipients of her lovingly prepared special meals, cannot... Are we on the...
Not bad. You've uncovered Sijuin's... All right, now for my next... There are also some hidden rules in the Pancration ring, including the one that you're not allowed to support both sides of a fight.
told that the infirmary is always empty for the half hour just before. We often see Miss Sijuin observing the prison. The Fonta promoter has been struggling because he doesn't recognize the real value of. The research note said that the Melusine. According to Collins, the Pancration tournament only. Fonta's internal reports suggest that there's. The Fonta promoter has been struggling. We often see Miss Sijuin. I've been told that the infirmary is. The research note said that the Melusine race perceives the world very. According to Collins, the Pancration tournament only took place because the Fonta company sponsored it. We often see Miss Sijuin observing. The Fonta promoter has been struggling.
Paimon gets this rule too now. That hidden rule of the Pancration ring is about how, people get scared, but really, it's just a bottle of the latest, a blood-red drink. It's no wonder even Fonta's the company, facing backlash from its own staff, decided they came to the fortress of Meropide and offered to sponsor the Pancration tournament so they could push the Duke, knowing how valuable coupons are in the fortress. Knew that and so only those who proved their stupidity by being dumb enough to bet on two opposing sides of the same match.
I acknowledge the effort you've put, although based on your description, that Fonta promoter is a bit too careless with his words. I may just reconsider my collab. All right, and here's the final question. What's the secret behind our head nurse and all of her patients in the infirmary?
Stop your cruel and pointless games, Risley! You know that we haven't finished our investigation, so there's no way we can answer the last question. The thought is, you'll pay for this.
Lenny, are you alright?
Oh, close one.
It was nothing. You're
Sijuin,
though this gun may look like a toy.
Sijuin.
Not at all. I am merely a resident of the... When Monsieur Nervulette asked me to come here, he told me that my job...
But if you mean what you just said, then isn't Lenny someone you should be looking after?
But I really am just doing what Monsieur Nervulette told me to do. Everything I did. His Grace knows it too, right?
My dear Sijuin, whatever
Well, it's nearly time after all. The way you do things can be truly frustrating.
What are you talking...
Take me if you want.
how touching. Can you just give...
Don't be like that, you're...
All right, everyone, calm down. I'll go get a cup of tea. Miss...
You...
I believe I hear footsteps.
Some space, please.
Ah, Miss Clarande. My door.
Renee...
What's going on? What is Clarande doing here?
Work.
I'm sorry about shooting you, Mr. Linney. The tranquil...
What happened to Fremine? Wasn't he diving just outside of the fortress? Why is he looking like...
A flushed face, an accelerated pulse. He must have consumed primordial... Please, make some space. I'll need to give Miss...
I'll talk to Clarande while you get Fremine to where he needs...
How is he?
These symptoms are probably caused by an acute ingestion of a large... Of course, it would be best if he stayed for further observation. Sorry. I am aware that the...
Why would he ingest a large amount of primordial...
Please, look after Mr. Fremine for the moment. I'll go fetch some medicine and a respirator.
Where is she?
Oh, she just took a nap in an empty room after I tranquilized her. If my calculations are correct, she should also be with...
What's that look on your face? I thought
Oh, I'm just admiring your punctuality. Had you arrived just a few... How's the situation out there?
the water has changed. It's pretty much... I was only out there a short time, so it wasn't too bad. But if one were to stay for any significant...
Where was he when you found him?
The abandoned zone at the end of the pipes.
Closer than I thought. He must have...
Locking the door was necessary.
Well, I did try to convince him that I had my reasons.
It would probably work on Neuvillette. He has a knack for picking up...
That's a bad sign. Want some tea?
Not particular.
Fine, I'd like to get some tea.
Might as well then, I suppose.
Linny, are you okay?
I'll be...
Are you sure?
My hands and feet are still a...
I'm back, everyone.
Lenny!
Remine? He'll be fine. But for...
His breathing's beginning to slow down.
Give me a hand and help me get him to the infirm...
Yeah, I'll take him from this...
On it. Traveler, you seem pretty worried about him. Want to come with us?
The Duke and Clarande are gone.
They probably went to get some tea. The Duke will explain the truth in just a bit. Miss Clarande will need a
He's awake! Linny... Lynette...
We're all here. The infirmary, at the Fortress of Meropide. How do you feel?
Traveler. The sea. There's something wrong with the seawater.
Shh, it's okay.
No, listen to me. This is really serious. There's primordial seawater mixed into the regular seawater.
Pipes...
Right, the pipes. It's all coming back to me now. I'm in. Where could Master Child be? There! Frost is coming! This mechanism looks like it's been tampered with. Could he have done it? getting stuck on something. Seems like I'll have to avoid those obstacles while I turn it. This is where the water starts. Master Child. The vegetation here is a bit more sparse. These traces aren't natural. A person must have left them, and recently. I should be going in the right direction. There are traces here too. I need to keep going. Huh? The traces are gone. But I don't see where he could have gone from here. Wait. What the... My heart is racing, and it's getting harder and harder to breathe. What's No good. I have to get back. They still don't know anything about what's going on. If I turn back right now, I should still be able to make it. I can't die here. I have to push on.
So, in other words, the trail you were following vanished, and you had no idea where—
That's right. I tried my best to swim back, but I had already put some distance between myself and the
Miss Clarande brought you back.
Miss Clarande, you said?
You're still too weak for Minette. Miss Lynette is right. I believe Miss Clarande will...
A guest? Then I can assume—
You should ask His Grace about that.
Yeah, it's about time he actually told us what's going on. Wanna come?
No, please go on without me.
Lenny.
The logical part of my brain is aware that we're safe right now, but...
In that case, I'll leave the infirmary to you. The Traveler and I are going to head out.
Thank you.
I'm also really sorry.
Don't say that. It was all my fault.
If I was stronger...
No, how can you say that?
Huh?
I'm sorry.
What I'm hearing is...
Yeah, that's right.
Lenny, we understand that you're worried about us, but we're worried about you as well.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
I take it Mr. Fremonet's condition is stable?
Of course. I wouldn't have left the...
I've been expecting those two, but might I...
I wanted to check up on Miss...
Mostly fine.
If you don't mind, I'd like to...
All right. Thank you.
Well, want to explain your...
Of course. But I'm not partial. Where should I begin? How about you start by asking me any questions you have? You can start with...
Then Paimon will begin.
No. I just knew they were Fatui operatives sent to the fortress by the Knave.
You managed to monitor and stay ahead of them even though you...
They came here with ulterior motives. Initially, I thought their goal was just to invent... Linny suggested that I had deliberately let him escape. But in truth, I didn't really do anything special to help or hinder him. Of course, it's inevitable that the Knave would make a big deal out of it. I'm also quite curious about where that Harbinger went. So I figured I might as well let...
So you were hoping Linny...
You make it sound like that's a bad thing. Unfortunately, things didn't go as planned. The Forbidden Zone has always been Linny's target, and you got roped into that investigation after running into him. I began to intervene out of concern for your safety.
Are the rumors true?
Why would you put it like that? Isn't staying here all day and serving as the manager of the fortress a
Oh, right! Paimon...
Me, of course. I paid her good Mora to come down to the fortress for some field work. As a champion duelist, Miss Cloran could be considered to be an independent party. I needed to find an exceptionally capable person.
And saving Fremonet?
You can think of it like that, yes. Credit where credit is due, that boy is quite adept. That's not something you should be asking after. All I need to prove to you is that the Forbidden Zone had nothing to do with the Harbinger.
But we've already uncovered that there's something wrong with the infirmary, and we've answered a bunch of questions that you threw at...
You make a compelling case. Do you...
Yeah, Paimon really...
Even if the truth may not be pleasant, follow me.
There's a hidden door here? And a whole basement behind it? Huh. You're pretty good at hiding stuff, Risley.
It seems you've forgotten just what kind of place the Fortress of Meropide is. Stand on the central plate.
Wait, is there a secret mechanism or... Whoa! So, this is the Forbidden Zone? Honestly, for a place so well hidden, what a huge door!
There are 3 such isolation gates in total. Generally speaking, am I correct to assume you're going to run on back and...
Well,
Well, I'd advise you wait until you've seen the whole
Huh. So there's a switch up...
Stand back.
Whoa! They all just went up one by one!
Go on, have a... I've been interested in what lies beyond that gate ever since I assumed leadership of the Fortress of Meropide. Of course, it would be unwise to recklessly open it, but it'd also be risky and negligent. The readings on that dashboard have not budged since the day when I first laid eyes on this place. But over the past year, the needle is... Normally, I would have ignored it, but I happened to have some free time when I noticed it, so I investigated. Very reasonable guesses. I've considered both of those. The temperature should vary with weather and climate changes, so for something that rarely shifts, the water pressure is more likely. Later on, a few more possibilities occurred to me, such as a potential connection. Over the past few days, the needle has moved again. With that, and the symptoms that Fremonet displayed after leaving the fortress, I can now
The concentration of...
And that is precisely the problem. We're at the bottom of the sea, and now we're surrounded by toxic seawater. Somehow, primordial seawater got... Yes.
But forget about the two of us. Not even Novelette knows where... Oh.
Seems like you've figured it out. I believe the primordial sea lies directly beneath this sluice gate. For some reason, the primordial seawater... The indicators are now red. Although the gate still stands, some primordial... If this continues... Soon it... Yeah, you know what the legends say. If this place falls, then everyone in Fontaine will be turned into puddles in the span of a night.
But that's just too weird! Why would the Fortress of Meropide be built right above a sluice gate?
Your expression tells me you think this might be part of a vast, complicated It's just that the secret of the Forbidden Zone had been long forgotten by the nation before I rediscovered it with my research. There's no single founder of the Fortress of Meropide in any traditional sense. What we know about its history has been left up. When the previous Hydro Archon, Egeria, ruled the land, all convicted criminals from Fontaine were exiled. The criminals received no sympathy of any kind from the people. They were exiled to the desolate seaside, where they experienced only pain, struggle, and the bone. Some of them began to repent, and prayed to the Hydro Archon, asking if there was still anything they could do. The Hydro Archon took pity, and so, leaning on the power of the Hydro Archon, they gathered underneath the sea and began to build a fortress. They became a community down there in the deeps. And over the year, as the number of exiles increased, more and more people joined the community. The Hydro Archon continued to lend her support, allowing the fortress and what it stood for to continue growing ever larger. Before long, this dark... And with that, the people here stopped referring to the fortress as a prison. They saw them, but as time went on, people also realized that the fortress, once they had finished serving their sentences, some people left and some others chose to stay. They'd find some idle position and let their withered souls fade away after many, many centuries. Few people still remember the reason for the fortress's foundation. Now and again, researchers manage to break one law or another and live out their days in the fortress. I learned all this from an elderly historian.
But now you know every part of that...
Indeed. It's just as the prophecy says. If this... To be frank, not really. Prophecies are troublesome things. Just hearing one will create the first wave of panic. Seeing signs of it will bring about the second, and actually witnessing it in real time, the third. Let's go somewhere else. This is it.
Your Grace, perfect timing. The results...
Wait, Jurier, he's not alone.
Huh?
No need to panic, you two.
What? After you
I'm skeptical as well.
The results speak for themselves, don't...
All right then, if Your Grace insists.
They seem harmless enough, so I'll trust them.
How about some reintroductions? This is Jurier, one of the highest-ranked researchers from the Fontaine Research Institute. He used to work under Edwin. I trust that you've heard...
He's the one who blew the whole institute sky high. Everyone knew...
Edwin's main areas of research were archaeum and gravimeters. As his assistant, Jurier is quite familiar...
You want to blow up...
Ah, what a lovely idea. I'm already imagining...
Gotta admit,
Guys, focus! Focus!
That taskmaster over there is Miss Lorvine, and is also one of my technical consultants. While Jurier used to be Edwin's assistant...
Ooh, are they together?
See, everyone keeps asking this question. Are you too sure?
You're great!
If I dated her, I'd officially be mad.
Jeez. Follow me.
Whoa, there's another door that goes right up.
Your constant amazement makes it seem like the fortress can do anything.
But Paimon really thinks everything's super cool.
Well, let's spice it up a bit. And here you go.
What a huge ship? This is also a production zone that Paimon's never seen before.
How much do you know about Fontaine? Well, then maybe you haven't heard the story of ancient Lemuria. To give you a quick rundown, Fontaine used to be ruled by the Lemurian dynasty. According to legend, The Lemurian king Remus came to this land after being inspired by divine revelation and found the seer Sibila, who had taken on the form of a golden bee. Taking the golden bee with him and riding on a huge ship, the Fortuna, he created his nation above the surging waves. He called his nation Lemuria and used the Fortuna to incessantly search for new tribes and islands, calling on them.
There's a ship in the street.
Where there's water, there'll be ships. People believe that hope can always be found at the end of a voyage.
Do you believe that?
To a point, I think. As you've already seen, I have a whole factory's worth of labor, materials, and technology. So the moment I began to speculate that the primordial sea...
Were you inspired by the legendary Fortuna?
Maybe. Fontanians need something to hold on to cope with the impending... Were the workers to find out the truth behind this ship, riots would destroy the fortress faster than any catastrophe. As the fortress's administrator, I'd never make such a reckless call. All right, that's enough talking for now. I'll need another 3 cups of tea to soothe my throat. Do you have any other questions? Seems like you're good. I'll leave you here for...
Oh,
No worries. But don't forget, it's up to you whether or not you want to share what you just saw.
Yeah, we'll put a lot of thought into it for sure.
Great.
We're back!
Welcome back.
How can you be so much like Rise?
Huh. Actually, while I was sedated, I could still barely hear
Must have been Risley and...
Yeah, I heard one male voice.
I really can't make sense.
So, Traveler, Paimon, were you able to learn any...
Yeah, he explained everything.
Very well. Then, would you mind checking your answers against my spec... Yeah, I took the...
Nobody else is around, and Miss Sijuin is also busy with something or other.
All right, then I'll posit my theories. I asked myself 3. Firstly, why was Fremine affected by the primordial seawater? It was because...
Whoa!
That's Arlen.
Secondly, Risley's attitude changed dramatically during the course of our stay. I spent quite a long time thinking about this. If he has been monitoring the Fatui since the very... What's more, the fortress of Meropide is not part of Fontaine. As long as the fortress doesn't do anything about Master Child's disappearance, Father can use it to pressure the Fontaine authorities. If I had to guess, he probably has something that he's working on himself. It's likely related to the secret of the infirmary.
You're super...
Thanks so much. If Risley does have a plan, what could it be? All I know for now is that his plan... that can't be the full extent of what he's doing. There's probably a secret passageway behind the block in the infirmary, and there's something big in the fortress that most people here never get to see. He has a bargaining chip, and it could be important enough for Father to deal with him directly. I don't have enough information, so I have no idea what his chip might be.
Let's see. Well,
Could Risley have wanted to meet Father to figure out... If you remember, I once mentioned that Father sees the House of the Hearth as her base of operation.
or perhaps he didn't know and just wanted to bring Father over to his side, which could be why he said he just wanted to negotiate.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I understand your concerns as well, Traveler. The two of you have already aided us far too much. If you ever need anything else going forward, though you may not share the sentiment,
You have my gratitude.
Thank you for protecting Linny when it really mattered. And
why are you being so formal all of a sudden?
given your strength, you might not need our help at all.
Aww, the sound of the... Paimon's hungry.
Oh,
Alright, then we'll catch you guys...
It's time for dinner. Welfare meals now.
on, let's go pick up ours as well.
Traveler and Paimon, over here.
Are you here for dinner too?
And I'm taking...
Huh. You're right.
What would you like to eat? Yep, you can. I've already talked to our chef, Mr. Wolsey. It's all on me today, so you can get whatever you'd like.
Me too! Don't forget...
No problem.
So delicious. Is this how it feels to be freeloader?
Feeling full yet? How's the food?
Delicious!
I'm so glad to see you all so happy.
Sigewinne, do you do...
A bit of both, I suppose. I'm a Melusine, which means I'm very different from human beings. I must know what you're thinking if I want to take...
You're really good at taking care of people.
Really? You're reminded...
Oh, and what did you mean back in Risley's...
Oh, that. I just asked His Grace to look out for those children. Thankfully, Clorand is very strong and managed to save him in the nick of time. His Grace, although the path was blocked, we still stationed some guards there to stop anyone from approaching. They were instructed to only open the door once Miss Clorand had returned. Oh, and I was keeping an eye on Mr. Linney as well. We had to press him, but we couldn't allow him to...
You were all super considerate.
It's just what we do down here at the... Oh, I really wish Monsieur Nerville... Get a good night's rest, you two.
Clorand! How's dinner?
It's all right.
So we heard that Risley invited you to...
Oh,
Still, Paimon didn't know even Oh, and why aren't you eating with Sigewinne and the Duke? Won't you get bored eating by yourself?
Miss Sigewinne was with you, and the Duke has business of his own.
Actually, didn't Navia say that you went out for dinner with her as well?
Yeah. First time.
First time in a long time. So you mean you've gone out to dinner with her in the past?
In the past. You seem to be enjoying yourselves here. Things will be getting messy at the fortress.
She's Paimon's super sleepy. Delicious.
Out of my way! Get what happened! Why? No idea, but something must have happened. Stop asking!
Who's... What happened? Why is everyone running around? Hey! What are you doing?
No time to explain, mate. Goodbye!
Hey! What? What's wrong with these people?
They're here! Yeah, there you are!
Oh, thank goodness!
Quisto and Laveroon, do you know what happened here?
We came here especially to inform you. Something seems to have gone terribly wrong just now. His Grace is telling it Laveroon was saying you two are new here and you don't have many friends, so you might slip through the cracks. Haven't you heard all the stories like that? An evacuation is successfully
Wait, weren't you the one who brought that up?
Hey!
Okay, whatever. The point is, you should come with us. Yeah, he said to get as far away as possible.
Oh no, it can't be that thing!
Whoa, wait, what? What? Hey, where are you going?
We have to go find the Duke. You two just go and get out. Go on without us.
Hey, hey! Be careful!
Attention! Please evacuate upwards and outwards, upwards and outwards. If you're already at the topmost layer, then try to move as far outwards as possible. Attention! Please evacuate upwards and outwards, upwards and outwards. If you're already at the topmost layer, then try to move as far...
They're here.
Just like I said.
What happened?
You're just in time. But be ready to run. Three, two, one.
This won't hold it for long. Find Neuvillette. Tell him the defenses are about to collapse.
Then what will happen to you?
Until he arrives, we're the last line of defense. The gate. How long do you think it'll hold?
That depends on us.
Neuvillette, why are you here?
Traveler, I need you to head to the Opera House. Farina will soon be meeting with the knave there. You must protect Farina and make... Will do. You have...
Look, there are a ton of Fatilian Are you two the traveler in Paimon? Though I'm sure he's already explained, this should be a mostly cordial conversation, unlikely to...
Oh, so you two are the honored guests, Miss Fer-
Of course, of course! How could they not attend a meeting such as this? I must always have 2 or more guests at my dessert table. Otherwise, the occasion would...
It is my pleasure to make your acquaintance, traveler. I have heard much of your accomplishments. I am the knave. one of the 11 Fatui Harbingers.
I've already prepared seats for you.
Perhaps you two are unaware of how Miss Farina and I do things. You see, we actually recently agreed. See this? This is a limited type of confectionery that Miss Farina simply adores. There are only...
Traveler, what do you think of this cake?
That's good to hear. So what Child said was on the mark after all. You do? I wonder how he's doing nowadays. You must have heard, right?
Since we're talking about him...
Oh, so you're also familiar with his aptitude for fighting, Miss Farina. Oh, right. Against ordinary people, my colleague would never be on the back foot. But alas, he just never... Come...
but I thought you would be happier to hear the news.
Of course, but it's still a bit of a shame. You see, I would have been far happier had I received this news...
well, in any case...
Oh. And...
Because...
And where did he go after leaving the fortress? The fortress of Meropide lies deep beneath the waves. Unless he pranced right out of the main gate, he must... Ah, that is good news at least. His sister Tonya sent a letter to Font. Do you have any idea how he usually writes back to his family? Dear Tonya, your letter made me...
All letters tend to follow the same few formats anyway, right? As long as the...
Hold on.
I suppose this is also...
Huh?
Have we entered into the next stage?
My thanks to you both. I will take it from here.
Sure you don't need a hand?
Quite sure.
Wow. So, what's your secret, huh? Let me guess. Nah, who knows? Maybe it's just your sense of responsibility.
Sounds about right.
Day may come when the prophecy is fulfilled, and the waters burst forth. But it is not this day! This ancient power could easily obliterate an entire race. A tsunami of fury would unleash endless catastrophe. This sentence is too severe. Forgive me for overruling it.
All right. Seems like the...
Let me guess. We're safe.
Indeed.
I win this bet.
Very well. It was indeed.
You made a bet?
We made a bet on the size of your entourage. Cloran thought you wouldn't come down by yourself.
I figured you would have at least brought a few people along for appearance's sake. It appears I
Shouldn't you have gotten used to confidence?
So what gift must the loser give?
He only...
That wouldn't happen to be a dig at...
Well, I'm sure His Grace...
I was under the impression the residents of a place like this would be...
That was obviously a joke. Anyway, you've still got some unfinished business.
No need to stay here if you have a pressing matter.
Thank you. I hope everything went smoothly with the...
I must say, Miss Farina, as the Hydro Archon, I am sure you understand the exact meaning of the phenomenon we just witnessed. Or should I say...
What are you trying to say?
At this point, I don't think there's any more need to speak as diplomatic representatives. Allow me to speak to you now as just a Fontanian. You know the prophecy by heart, and also that every part of it is being proven true. Yet, here you are, relaxing, drinking tea, and eating desserts as if it's all nothing more than the prophecies hanging above our necks like a guillotine. Every faction is looking for a way to either avert the disaster or save their own. Even the orphans of that. But you? It beggars belief just how nonchalant and carefree you have been. From the very beginning, you, the god Focalor, you have utterly failed to take action.
You're wrong. I've never ignored the prophecy, nor have I just been passing the time in self-indulgence. Retract your accusation and stop doubting the wisdom of the gods with such absurd conjectures!
I am not alone in my doubts, you know. All the children of Fontaine may be harboring the exact same thoughts right now. Oh, great Hydro Archon. How are you going to save them? Save us? How are the people you've sworn to protect supposed to survive in a land that will soon disappear beneath the waves?
I have my ways, and I've been working on them for all this time. Even if you look down upon me, you have no right to judge me. Fontaine will be saved. Even if I still cannot see the true future right now, as long as I continue on as I am.
Then I ask you, Miss Farina, just what have you been working on? Where can we see it, and what is it doing to help?
My machinations are just like the prophecy itself. They will only reveal themselves at the fated time.
I see. As a god, the proof of your labor always lies beyond prying mortal eyes. Allow me to be so bold as to ask another way. Would it be possible for you to tell us the parts of your plan that are not confidential? Such as...
An emergency response plan?
Oh, that look in your eyes. Have you not?
The emergency...
Then allow me to jog your memory. Miss Farina, what is the purpose of your Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal? And what do you plan to do with the massive amounts of indemnitium that has accumulated over the years?
The Oratrice? It's just like it appears to be.
So you also have no idea. If I'm not mistaken, someone's using it to prepare for something. But unfortunately, it would seem that someone is not you, Miss Farina. I first caught wind of this when Linny tried to investigate the Oratrice in the Opera House. You see, even just getting close to the core contaminated. But even if that had nothing to do with you, then what could you possibly be working on? Oh, right. I almost forgot. Udex Nouvillette is not at the tea party with us today.
Yeah, yes, that...
Of course I will. Although, I must say, Miss Farina, you seem quite insecure without the Udex by your side. Oh, very well. Let's stop that conversation here. There are still a few slices of cake left. Traveler, I heard that you were recently commissioned to handle a few matters on behalf of the Udex. You too.
Thank you.
If it's on.
You're welcome. I'm sure the cake also felt greatly honored to be featured at Miss Farina's table. It is getting late. Why don't we
Very well. Will
mind seeing me off, traveler? We could use the opportunity to
Paimon's coming too!
The tea party. Why are you looking at me like...
I'm glad that you were willing to come with me. Of course, child was just an excuse.
That's what Paimon thought.
You lent your aid to the children of the House of the Hearth. Do I look like an irresponsible father to you? That was all. Formal topics should be discussed in formal settings. I know you just returned from the fortress of Meropide. Relax,
They've all been working very hard and have always done all they can to fight.
You mean Wriothesley. He's a tricky one to deal with. It's unfortunate that Linny's so eager to prove himself that he can't learn to rely. By the way, and you can just consider this a bit of idle gossip, but what's your impression of Farina? You are outside of our disputes, and the freest person in all of Fontaine, able to move around most easily. Allow me to share my perspective with you.
And that's everything that happened during the trial. Master Child was declared guilty and immediately transported to the fortress of Meropide.
Didn't he say he was coming here on vacation? Does he not feel an ounce of shame for all the trouble he has caused? Forget it. He did give us I will be meeting someone shortly.
Do you require help with any preparations?
No need. I will take care of it myself. I need to meet with Farina, the Hydro Archon. She is at the heart of Fontaine.
Oh? Come over here, you little critter, you! You dare to run from me?
My goal is just to discover the location of the Gnosis. But I didn't expect the chance to approach Farina to be handed to me on a silver platter. This is so easy, it's actually making me a bit suspicious. Anything left unguarded is usually just bait. But no one will blame someone for taking the bait. After all, it's just as I guessed in the second before I struck. The Hydronosis is not currently held by the Archon. In fact, this Archon doesn't seem like a god at all. And I sense that she's under some kind of curse.
Who are you? And what are you trying to do? Please don't kill me! I'm begging you, please!
The fear in her pupils is genuine, so perhaps she's not bait after all. Either way, targeting her has lost all meaning. I left the scene with ease. Nobody came looking for me, and nobody could serve as a witness to my near assassination of Focalor. I suspect even Farina dares not mention this incident to anyone. Not long after, my informants confirmed what I had guessed. After returning to her quarters, Farina quietly cried alone. She was so scared that she could not sleep that night, nor could she even bring herself to eat her cake. There's no doubt that there's something wrong with her. I began to entertain the possibility that she is not the true Hydro Archon. Perhaps Eudex Neuvillette is actually the genuine article. I have to find the Gnosis. If the Neuvillette hypothesis is correct, he is probably in possession of it. Alternatively...
Yes, Father.
My dear children, please...
News from the Fortress of Meropide. Master Child has gone missing.
Probably the handiwork of... I'm afraid this is a good opportunity. Set up a meeting for me. I would like to... Oh, And I have a—
Yes, Father.
Tartaglia's disappearance was not a part of my plan, but I can use it to make a breakthrough. With this, as the initiative belongs to the House of the Hearth, my wish to investigate the fortress of Meropide will be a You should know the rest. Lenny's group is quite close to you, so they wouldn't have hidden anything from you.
You?
It wouldn't mean anything, even if you shouted it from the rooftops. After all, even for
alright then.
I've now had 2 chances to enjoy tea with Farina. I have to say, the leadership of Fontaine is even more inscrutable than I had imagined. I once surmised that Iudex Neuvillette must be the Hydro Archon, but now, that doesn't seem right to me either. I am a servant of Her Majesty the Tsaritsa. Over my years of service, I've learned how a real Archon conducts and carries themselves. Whether Iudex Neuvillette or Farina, neither fits the bill. It's hard to imagine either of them as the Archon. Of course, that is all just how I feel. Gut feelings often do not require justification. It is, however, quite amusing to me that after all my years working in intelligence gathering, I've come to realize I am at a complete loss regarding the identity of the god of the land. Don't you think Fontaine is quite intriguing? A catastrophe looms, yet many secrets have yet to rise to the surface. Ultimately, though, one must survive in order to do anything. You don't need to commit to anything right now, of course. I have a feeling that the situation will continue to evolve, and as your name is often connected with noble deeds, I'm sure we will work together someday. He certainly returned quickly.
Neuvillette?
For now, yes. But this issue will prove quite thorny in the long term. Thank you for protecting Farina. To put it simply, I used my power to force back the Primordial Sea and reseal the... So as expected, the Knave has turned up the pressure on for permission granted.
Whoa. It can't... You can't tell us? Then that's okay. We can talk about something...
If by the phrase, you guys, you are referring to Farina and I, then although I'm not sure just what you are trying to imply, I must clarify that I do not share her positions on a multitude of topics. I believe so. The fortress has a long and complex... And now, another catastrophe will soon be upon us. I mourn this turn of events.
Huh? Why is it raining all of a sudden?
You may be closer to the truth than you think.
Oh? And what are you thinking? The dragon of... what? Huh?
Please do not be so...
We were just guessing randomly. We didn't guess right, did we?
You guessed correctly. I sincerely hope you'll be able to keep this a secret for me.
Right. There's still something Paimon wants to ask you, though.
Please, go.
Well, if you are the Dragon Sovereign of Water, and you were able to force back the Primordial, then since Fontaine's prophecy is all about seawater, couldn't you—
None of the currently living dragon sovereigns in the world, myself included, possess our full dragonhood. They say that when the first usurper arrived on Tivat, they seized a part of the dragon's power. Today, that stolen power is the basis of the Archon's authorities.
There are 7 elemental Archons and 7 matching Dragon Sovereigns.
The dragon sovereign of water who lived through that era perished a long time ago. As their successor, I know far less of that part of our ancient history. In any case, I believe I will not be able to do much, unless the Archon disappears and returns there. Given the status quo, however, I would recommend finding another way to deal with it.
Oh, so he...
I still have some urgent matters to attend to at my office. If you have any more questions regarding ancient history, you are welcome to...
Ah, please go right ahead. There's a place that Paimon wants to go too. Traveler, why don't... We'll see you another time.
Take care.
Now guess, what's...
Well, well, look who it is.
Traveler.
Hello, everyone.
Looks like you're recovering...
Thanks. Oh, right.
Whoa, how did she react?
She told me that it was...
She didn't want to stress you out, that's all. She's right, and it's best not to dwell on it.
Yeah.
Okay, but check this out. We went back to the...
You meant father? Did she say anything to you?
She said a few things that were...
Her attitude towards you is even better than what we... You should believe her. She has her own way of doing things, and she'll do...
Father is very capable.
Oh, Paimon just remembered that she thought Linny was a bit too proud as well. She said...
Hey!
Are you going to stay here for them?
Looks like it, yeah?
Excellent. I will host a tea party.
For real? Then Paimon wants another serving of cake.
Another implies that you were already served some delicious cake while you were up. Well, next time, you're going to have tea and... Traveler! Paimon, you're back! Are you still doing alright? Did either of you get...
We're fine, but what about you guys?
A few people sustained superficial injuries, but that's about the extent of the damage. Monsieur Nervulette paid us a visit. Oh, of course,
How did Nervulette know that he...
Monsieur Nervulette has strong resonance with the Hydro. I ran into the bombshell bros while bandaging the injuries of the... If you're not too pressed for... Just let me know if you get a craving for any particular dish. So I'd like to take the opportunity to spend some more time observing your facial muscles as well.
You guys are back?
Crystal!
You guys didn't get caught.
Ah, and here I thought you'd managed to escape from jail during all the
All right. There's no need to get caught up in the details.
Hey, it wasn't just me.
Something like... I was also transferred to work in the kitchen a few days ago. I can still hear whenever he'd say that, I'd tell him I'm sure...
Hey, there's nothing wrong with worried about your prison pals. Is there? I mean,
These two. They sure are a lot warmer and friendlier than when Paimon first met them.
Oh, well, if you say so. I'll be watching.
Courier? Miss Sijween told me you still haven't eaten.
Yeah, I was...
That's no excuse for...
Courier, Lurvine, we're back!
Hello there. It's been quite the mess here.
And you? Are you still taking the secret passageway from the infirmary to work on the ship?
Yep. That is still top secret, though. So don't say...
It can be a bit annoying when there are lots of people in the infirmary.
I mean, the infirmary does make...
Oh, yeah? Then...
You two really are just using your...
Not at all!
Do my eyes deceive me, or did I just see two inmates come back after making it to the surface?
We wanted to see how the fortress is doing.
We're fine, for the most part. Neuvillette came down and took care of the worst of it.
If that's the case, why don't you...
Oh, yeah, what a brilliant plan. Let's go convince the Udex himself to exchange the Courts of Fontaine. He came here in a hurry and left without even stopping for a...
He sure sounds super busy.
Miss Cloran has left as well.
Were the gifts milk...
Neuvillette got the milkshake.
Those are...
Well, it's Neuvillette's own fault for making Sijween worried about his health by working so much. But besides... Oh, and I have some gifts here.
Are these from
Nope. They're from yours truly. You've already wrapped up your work at the fortress, so you can return to the surface at any time. You haven't yet served your full prison term, however, so you may continue to use your...
For real? Then we could stay here for...
You may access the cafeteria. Just remember to come complete your paperwork.
We're back in our cell again. We're no longer prisoners, though, so it really doesn't feel the same. Sure feels that way. But the truth is, we never did anything bad to begin with. Huh? How did you know? Hey, that's not true! It's like, we've now gone to so many places. There are so many bad things in the world, and we're just two people. You're counting Paimon today? Aren't you the only... Then let's ask Catherine to give Paimon an adventure ahead. Just a thought. The last time we fell asleep here, we woke up to a home. We should be safe now, right? All right, then. Good night to you, Traveler.
Sure.